we help you Portugal. Well,
Yeah.
from what you can find in Portugal.
Okay. How do you make an investment at home? How do you turn something so abstract, which is an image, on your computer, you send it to a client somewhere else. How do you make it a home for this specific buyer? Is there a sort of do you try to match the property with the lifestyle of this person, with the desires and the dreams of this client? Is that how you operate?
A lot of clients ask us for the both option, which is we are looking for a second home, our backup, our retirement plan, a home that is a very nice investment, but where we think we will live on this property sometime in the future.
I see.
So this brings to another question we usually get to clients, which is getting to know more the client, which is some clients come from regions in the United States or in Europe or anywhere else in the world where they have amazing sceneries. So we know the preference they already have from their past experiences, where they chose to live in their birth country or their residence country. And then if not, we think, what is the country you liked, why? So we can get like a lot of indicators that show us. And in Portugal, we can always fit. Portugal, as I said, is very rich in the variety of types of region and culture we have. And so we can find the best fit in terms of location.
Yeah.
Also property. In the property type, clients are very different. So some clients really are looking for the most traditional house possible. A house full of old century decorations with our traditional Portuguese marble, the stone, all those details. And we have that a lot in Lisbon, as you know.
Yeah.
And in Alentejo, other places. But in the Algarve, for example, you have a mix. You have brand new villas, very modern, very ready for your second home as well, and very profitable as rents. Cascais as well. As we know, where there is more construction space, you will find newer properties. And so you can look for a modern house if that's your desire, and look for all the architectural variety that you may find.
Yeah.
And well, try to fit as more comfortable as possible. If you want pool, if you want a tennis court, if you want a very large garden so your kids can play, for example.
Yeah. And Érika, do you also see the same dynamics happening with your clients in Portugal? Thanks, because João brought us to Portugal now, and I think it's a good theme to explore. A lot of our audience, a lot of global citizens that watch our podcast are looking to invest abroad, and particularly in Portugal. So do you have anything from your clients that are looking to invest here or to get property here in Portugal that you would like to share with us in terms of tips, things that they should be looking for in terms of geography? What is it from the interior design perspective that you could share with us that could work for our audience?
Well, Portugal, as João said, although it's really small, has a huge variety of terrain, of landscape. So, well, starting with Lisbon, of course, Lisbon is very close to Tejo, the sea and the rivers all around. So being aware of this proximity, I think is crucial if you're planning to settle here, because you need to be aware of the sea breeze, of the ventilation, that things may get damp. I don't want to be like the messenger of doom here.
Yeah.
I love Lisbon, but I think it's just being aware of the climate conditions as well. Actually, yesterday I went to visit a client, and they were surprised how Lisbon is so humid. because you always hear about, you know, that Lisbon's quite dry, or Portugal as a country is quite dry. And they're like, wow, there's so much water around.
Tell me about it. I really struggle with my hair here.
And so it's bearing those conditions in mind and integrating that into your interior, you know, interiors, your home or commercial property, be what it is, you know. And of course, if you go to the countryside, and then it can be very, very dry, and then it's the opposite, is making sure that, you know, what you specify in terms of insulation, in terms of roofing, if the property is a house, even in materials inside the home, you know, curtains. If in Lisbon, you have to be careful with the material that you specify the curtains with, because sometimes, you know, if there is a bit of dampness or humidity, the curtains may create some sort of mold, even lightly. So we have to be aware of all these kind of external factors.
That's a very good tip. I didn't know, and but I've noticed there aren't many curtains in houses in Lisbon that I can remember. I don't know. I think I've only seen like in really posh hotels, but not at houses.
I think a lot of European and American clients coming here, you know, they're used to curtains, and they think of, oh, you know, I'd love to put a curtain here, and perhaps, you know, being aware that if you put a very heavy fabric, it's going to accumulate more water, more damp. So, you know, go for lighter fabric. That's
that problem in one of my apartments is funny because it's facing both sides. And as Érika was speaking about, you have to be really careful, because the side that is catching the north wind, which is the more humid, will damage the curtain if you leave the windows open or something like this. And the other side, if it's facing south or east, you're protected. So there are some factors that you have to.
But I bet you knew that because you've been working with real estate for a very long time, yeah?
Yes, I love real estate. Not a very long time, but since 2011, 12, I've started indirectly, of course, because I was in law offices, but dealing with foreign investment, and so all the paperwork and the not so fun part I was dealing with since graduation from law.
So your background in legal became handy when you started dealing with your clients, yeah? And tell me a bit more about Goldcrest and why is it so unique? The approach of Goldcrest, sorry, to explain myself properly.
The concept is unique by itself, and our team is very well put together in order to provide a service that our clients really feel that we are backing up every stage of the process. We're doing it with a professional consultant because we have a team that is has a wide variety of background, either hotel management or decoration, everything related to property. But then we come together as a team to escort the client through the whole investment and all the phases. And of course, the buyer agent service is very well needed in Portugal.
Yeah.
It was missing this. It needed it to appear a firm that would let the client choose freely and through all the market, but in an independent way.
Yeah. So you work for the client, and I guess it's very daunting to buy a property, even if you are located in the country physically, or if you're doing it from another country or somewhere else. I don't know. It is very daunting, and having someone that you know will be working for you and not for the vast number of property developments available in the market is it's really reassuring.
It is. It can make you spare a lot of money and get really the
time,
best option and time, because fortunately we have been getting happy clients, and this is mostly because there is a wide variety of sellers in the industry, and the seller, of course, will look to sell its products. It's a logic. You get finance through if you sell your project. But then if the client tells us, this is my budget, we can show him everything that's available for that budget. And this is very well rewarding to see the client, thank you so much. I was looking at this and first, and now I got something much better and for the same price or lower.
Yeah.
And this is, we are happy to see the client happy as well.
Good.
And
Good. And tell me, in terms of investment in the property market, I know that Portugal has a very interesting dynamics, which are very different from the countries like USA, England, and other European capitals. When it comes to buying to rent, can you give us some thoughts on that? Why is this different in Portugal, and where is the best investment in terms of real estate here?
So I would start again by saying that it's a very wide variety in Portugal. There are locations where you can get a very profitable long-term rental on your property, comparing the price you pay for the property and the income you get from the rent. But in the main cities of Portugal, you should be looking at them more in the capital increase perspective. Okay. This is what investors have been doing for the past years, and what it has been very profitable. You cannot get an increase, such a steady increase in many other countries. You can get it here, and the prices, they've increased a lot. If you had bought in 2012 and you would be selling now, you would win twice or 3 times what you invested. And so we are speaking about decades of capital increase, and we haven't suffered very much on pandemic or any situation in a global perspective. Okay. Since 2011, we have been growing steadily, and it is set to continue.
And that's very good news for Portugal.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Yes,
no, it is.
I hope so. It keeps like this for many decades, because I think there is a logic choice in Portugal. Mm-hmm. It's a logic choice for Europeans, for digital nomads also, who are even starting their career and can work anywhere else. You won't get better weather. You will get a very good property prices, mm-hmm. and the cost of living is very affordable as well.
Okay.
So Portugal is a very wise choice, and so it is expected to continue.
Great. I can